out of your system now. No phones on the fucking table, people.
Just gonna tell everyone I know there's no phones on the table and not to contact me.
Yeah, don't contact me for the next 4 hours. It's okay. Everyone's gonna be all right.
So we're starting with the tuna rice. The albacore is cut perfectly. So we're gonna do the albacore, the kohlrabi salad, and the burrata with roasted grapes.
Your parents are in the show, so all your life you'll see these things. Like I did. Yeah. Beats working.
So tonight's dinner is a perfect example for me about what Campagnolo represents. You know, the literal translation of Campagnolo means country bumpkin. You could get your family and your friends together, sit around a big harvest table, and just enjoy a family-style dinner.
Ah, the donuts have arrived.
Come on in.
What's that bread smell?
Oh, it's the bread that is put on the table.
The little wonderful crunchy balls. We can do this. We can go around the table. Give me one story from your life with stars, and we can all give a story.
Patty, you start.
Patty, start with your story.
Me?
Yeah.
Right off the top.
Why can't you
It has to
start?
be under 2 minutes.
Don't shake
Oh
the
my
pepper.
God. I don't remember anything.
And it has to be under 2. This
See?
is not what
That's
I
golden.
was anticipating.
What do you remember
here.
most
I
about
wanted
being
to
in
just
Stars?
Jeez, Louise. There's so much. We've gone through so many
I'll
topics already
start,
today.
shall I? You saying "fuck you" to me in Ypsilanti, Michigan.
That was a standout moment.
After we played that show with the pool table in
Yeah.
front of the stage, where I cried. Moya was there.
There was a
She tour
motorcycle
managing at
accident.
the
There was a
time.
motorcycle accident right in front of our car before we left. Remember
Motorcycle
that, Moya?
accident, and I pushed you to
Remember?
the limit, and you turned to me, and you said, "Fuck you, dude." And it was the first time you'd ever said anything mean to me. And then I cried.
It was one of our first shows. I didn't even know who you were. I just knew that you were crying at the front of the stage, yelling at the merch people from the other bands, from the people who weren't. There was nobody in the audience. There was just merch people from other bands at a show that nobody was at.
Yeah, well, you're a servant of the capitalist system.
It's because I'm
Nothing I
Irish.
can do about that. That's my favorite Stars memory. Evan,
That's
if
your
you'd like to talk
favorite.
about ways
That's
in
your
which I've
favorite
annoyed
Stars
you.
moment.
April 18th, 2000. Amy, Torquil, and myself got picked up in Central Park, smoking a joint by an undercover officer. We spent 36 hours in jail, and it was the most
He's like,
trying, most horrible, most amazing thing that's ever happened to me in my life outside of having
People
kids.
don't know the story, Patty.
Everybody knows it.
Nobody knows that
People
story.
don't know that story.
People don't know
Interrupting.
that
Oh, burrata. It's burrata, guys.
The apps of all different flavors.
Oh my God.
I love
I
you.
think this is
We had one stipulation that was keep it vegetarian.
Oh, you're
Okay.
gorgeous.
There is fish. So that's
You're so
good for
beautiful.
fish.
Thank
So
you,
seared
Craig.
albacore tuna. There's some
beautiful.
The
Thank you.
Campagnolo, huh? How
Thank
about
you.
this?
so much.
Thank you so
Hey.
much. Cheers. Thank you, Craig. Cheers.
Thank you so
you,
much.
brother.
It's nice. It's got lemon and very fresh.
Honey, why wasn't our burrata
Enjoy.
like this? Thank you, Craig.
Thank you very much.
Why
As
wasn't
the
our
vegan
burrata
dips into the burrata.
Evan, if you want to continue with your recollections of our incarceration.
Well, one of my favorite parts of the story is calling you because I had access to a payphone for some reason outside of the
I had a
jail
payphone.
cell. You guys did?
I called Claudia and she hung up on me. She said, "I'm sick of your shit," and hung up on me.
Did anybody call Chris?
Amy did.
I was the only one that called you. And that I just joined the band.
I
and we had a
honestly
gig.
don't think Chris had a phone.
Yes, I did.
Oh my God, you called him
called it
incessant
every
every day 900,000 times. I know you're there, Sally bed.
What are we gonna do?
About
How
what?
about our lives? About our lives? What are we gonna do? It can't continue like this.
That's why when you guys got in jail, it was a little stressful.
It was a little stressful, and I called, and I was like, the first thing I said was, make sure that there's white Russians waiting for us when we get out in 3 hours, and then 3 hours went by, and then 12 hours went by, and I kept calling him, and we had a gig, and I was like, go to the gig. Bring the gear to the gig. We're going to make the gig. Opening for the Trash Can Sinatras at Maxwell's in New Jersey. And my favorite part of it is actually when
classic band.
hearing when Torquil was gonna start to cry in jail with all these ruffians.
Because Cranley got let out early.
And then no.
Yeah,
And then
Cranley got
looked
let
at
out
you
early.
And he said, "Don't you cry," and you sucked your tear.
We had a
back
dead
into
man
your-
walking moment through the bars.
We did. And you literally sucked the tear back up into the duct of your
That's a
eye.
perfect metaphor for our relationship.
Yeah, it is.
I look at you through the bars.
Yes.
You're free.
Yeah.
I'm imprisoned by my sensitivity.
Yes.
You, strong, free man
Right.
with beard,
Yes.
looks at me through the bars and says, "Don't cry." And I don't, Cranley. For
don't.
you, I don't.
That's right.
And he doesn't cry for you.
Okay, can we talk about
Don't
something?
cry for me, Evan Cranley.
He was a shy boy when he was at school. It took him years to learn the golden rule. You lose. He gets so angry, you see it in his eyes. He has no patience for people telling lies. He chooses to wear the old disguise.
And also, I'm balding and I don't want to get skin cancer. And now that everyone else has stopped wearing hats,
I need footnotes on your life, and then I'd understand what's going on. Because when I saw the hat
constantly
today,
changing and evolving.
didn't know.
I'm
No
like
idea,
Janet
my-
Jackson.
Okay, sorry. What does Janet Jackson have to do with that?
trucker hat.
But what does Janet Jackson have to do with dad twerk? Nothing.
Constantly evolving.
Oh, okay.
So if I bring up a story, can people interject because I can't remember it?
Sure.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm sure we will. Anyway.
It was us leaving the record company and trying to drive to the airport.
And then the car died.
Torquil and I
No,
had gotten
Patty
in a
started
huge
throwing
fight.
up blood.
We had gotten in a massive fight.
You had
I
left
had left
for
because
the
I had
airport.
no, my luggage had been lost,
That's right.
but I had everyone's passports.
Yep. Then we started to drive towards the airport, and Patrick threw up blood. And then what happened?
Oh, sorry, it's your story.
No, that's what I wanted.
You're missing a key thing here.
Evan?
Thanks, Patrick. We're
Yeah.
back. And we're back.
We're back.
Rhythm section,
Back.
power up. We're back.
Go.
We
used to tea.
The clutch got burnt
Sorry.
out in front of the Iraqi embassy.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you, Evan. You were
Yes,
Yes,
in London.
Thank you.
And you know what you did? You were like, I'm out of here. I'll see you at Heathrow. That's what you did.
That's
That's what you did. Yeah, that's
took
what he did.
off.
He's like, you know what?
left?
I'm outie. I'm taking a
had to
taxi.
go.
I'll see you at Heathrow.
I was in love with you.
He had to go.
What could I do? I wasn't going to help.
What did we do?
We had to go back to
You
the
got
record
a
company.
people mover,
We got a people mover.
and you came back to the record label.
I
And
had
then
a
you
girl
called-
that I was in love with, man.
I got on the
Do you
phone to
understand what
order a
that's like?
taxi.
You showed up to the airport. We both called our
I-
moms.
I
Because
bailed
Patty
first.
bailed first.
I bailed
He
first.
was
Well, he was
vomiting blood,
throwing
to be
up
fair.
blood.
What was wrong with you?
Nothing.
I
He
don't
had
know.
a polyp. It was like a polyp.
I
And then he had
coughed.
Papa.
And blood all over my hands, and so I jumped out onto
So
the
then you
streets
met
of
me.
London.
It was an
Yeah.
alarming
I
experience.
jumped out onto the streets of London, and there was a police officer there, and I had blood, and I said, I'm coughing up blood. And the cop looked at me and said, what do you want me to do about it? I'm a police officer. I'm not a doctor.
It's a fair question.
And I
So
said,
warm.
and I hailed a
Warm
cab
and
and went to the airport and met Amy with the
Yes,
passport.
with me. And then so we both were like, what should we do? And then we were like, let's call our moms.
We called our moms.
No,
And then
And then I
Torque took
called my-
over the
I turned over the driver and
driving
stripped the
and
clutch.
stripped the clutch like
In 10
15 minutes
minutes.
later, and we were stuck.
no, but then can I tell the story about when, so we like, let's call our moms. And I call my mom. I'm like, Mom, I'm at the airport. I've lost my luggage. We have no money. We didn't get the grant. Patty's throwing up blood. We've ruined all the gears are stripped. The car is gone. I've got the passport. We missed our flight. And my mom, she goes, oh no! What are you gonna do? And I was like, thanks. I remember, you know what? I remembered my favorite story, and we're gonna come back, but you were there, and we were at the Roosevelt Hotel, and I'm sitting, and I was actually counting money.
Squirrel?
I was counting money, and all of a sudden, I hear all this yelping and screaming. Torque runs into the room, and and it's just me and Torque, and Torque's like, and I just hear laughing, and I'm like, but Torque's like, what's the matter? He's like, A squirrel has attacked me.
Yeah, but that's an understatement. And I was just telling this story the other day. That was a big fucking squirrel.
I watched it happen,
And it was
dude.
a feral squirrel.
I was right across from you
I
and
just
I watched
told
it
this
happen.
story.
I call you on your stories, but I don't think you can exaggerate this
And
story.
I remember I was lying prone like this.
Yes, you were prone
And
in the
I was
bed.
lying prone, and it came at me. I had my lunch. That's what he
bathrobe.
wanted in my bathrobe. And it came at me, and it fucking came at me, and I kicked at it, and it hung on to my foot, and I flicked it, and it
went
did like
straight
a
up in
Bruce
the
Lee
air.
spin
It did. It went
in
like
the air, and
this.
then landed on its feet.
Dude, this is what it did. You were eating your lunch, and I was here, you were here, it was here, and it went,
I'm going for it.
and it went right at your shin. It went like on your shin. You went and you kicked it. It went like 10 feet in the air, and it book in it. And we just started laughing
And all of
so
you were
hard.
laughing. Everyone was laughing. And then I wasn't there, so I
attacked
wasn't
by a wild
laughing.
animal.
And then you came in and you looked at me, and all I heard was
great
this
one.
crazy laughing, and you were like, "I've been attacked by the squirrel. Do you think I have rabies?" So
Well,
was the
that's
big
a
old-
natural. And then I called the front desk and I said, dude, there's a fucking psychotic squirrel. You know, and he's like, oh, it's Ray.
It's Ray.
Yeah, I was
Ray.
like, what do you mean? He's like, oh yeah, he's an asshole. You gotta watch out.
You gotta keep your food away.
It's like, I suggest you fucking do something about that.
Okay, I'm gonna tell a story. I'm gonna tell about a story
Turn it down.
about a record stars made that was really difficult and very, very painful to make.
Just let him talk.
Jesus.
We made a record called In Our Bedroom After the War in Vancouver, BC. And most of us, except for Torquil and Patty, lived on top of a McDonald's on Robson while we made the record and commuted with a rental vehicle from the McDonald's at Robson to the warehouse studios in Gastown. We spent 5 weeks at the warehouse. We had
5 weeks.
7.
no, it was
6.
5. It was 5.
Go
It's
6.
5.
Go 6.
Six.
Go 6.
We recorded every single song we wrote after Heart. Oh no, after Set Yourself on Fire for that record.
Bad idea.
It was bad idea after bad idea after bad idea. Some great songs.
Let's not
We
mention what
worked
record
12, 14-hour days, which we were spending oodles of money.
$500 a day on Bryan Adams' P-Bass.
That's right.
As I recall.
Thank you. We would get back in the Dodge Caravan. We would drive down Robson to Vancouver
We needed you.
and go to sleep on top of the McDonald's. Now, we did this for 5 weeks. We had a massive budget. And, if I must say, a little bit of pressure to follow up a record that was
number 50
pseudo-
on Rolling Stone's 50 Best Albums
was
of the
pseudo
year.
popular in our career. For me, I had many a sleepless night on top of the McDonald's trying to get the record right.
People like that
I had a
record.
terrible time making that record.
Oh, it's so
Looking
good to
back
hear.
on it now,
Come on.
Classy.
I don't
Good
care.
memories. Let's
I don't
build some
care.
good
This is a
memories.
band. This is my experience.
Come on. We had the big kitchen. We made some nice
We made
dinners.
lots of meals.
We had a runner. That guy
Making
was
that
doing best
record
sandwiches.
was
We had a runner.
really fucking
Okay, let
hard.
Evan finish the story. What's the
weren't
point?
there. Why
You
would
hated it.
I
hated that.
hated
You
making that.
don't need a point.
There were some great songs, but I'm sorry, we missed the mark.
The spaghetti, which is my absolute favorite. Unfortunately,
Where's
meat
yours?
in it. So it's got guanciale and chili and pecorino. It's a classic, like it's a classic Roman dish, right? So
This
pecorino.
beautiful thing.
That beautiful thing is right up your alley. It is a potato-filled agnolotti, so almost like an Italian pierogi. Burgers with peas and asparagus and a little bit of pesto, lots of lemon, butter, and then of course crispy salsa chips and a fresh Stracchino cheese.
Beautiful.
I don't suppose you remember me. I was the one who set you free. You lived a lie until I was gone.
Can you guys articulate really why we make records together?
No.
No.
No?
Can you? Well-
I'll just do that. Boom.
I have a good story about when I first joined the band. And you guys asked me to join. This is before Patty and before Narnar. And you guys were moving to Montreal. And I was so ambivalent. And my mom was like, okay, I'm going to put a yes chair and a no chair. And she's like, sit in the yes chair. Why would you do it? Why would you join Stars? And I was like, they're like my family. And she's like, sit in the no chair. I went, they're completely insane.
Like family.
Like family. It's true. It's like right away when I first had my very first rehearsal with you guys, and it was like family.
I was forced into this by Matt Watkins and beyond. I listened to this band.
Did I force you into it a little bit?
I'll be brutal. No. I'll be brutally. You didn't force me into it. I didn't know who you were until we were in the band for 4 years, man.
So it was just Matt Watkins.
No, it was an overwhelming essence. Because when I first heard this band, Matt Watkins was like, "Oh, you got to hear this band. You're gonna love them." And I heard them, and I was not into this kind of music. I was like, "But I'll go and meet them," and so I did. And I went and met them, and I knew as soon as I met them, like, I'm stuck. I don't even know what this music is. This is not something that's a part of my, but it's been a part of my life, and now it is my life. And I just knew, and like, I avoided you guys for 4 years before I joined the band. I played with you, but refused to be a member because you were insane. But then they broke me down. They broke me down.
1999 is when I first had my real panic attack when I was with Stars, and I really felt anxiety and anxiousness for the first time on a level I've never had before. And I knew there was like something to this. But I was gripped with, I was walking around Manhattan, Midtown, just kind of looking around going like, I'm weak in the knees.
What was the fear?
I'm short of, because I knew I should put it all in. And I did. And I haven't, my anxiety since then has gotten worse.
It's only
and worse and worse. But with love and art and beauty. And Chris sent me 5 songs that Stars were working on before Night Songs. And I literally put it in my Discman and in the back of the van. And I was on tour with the band. And I instantly fell in love with this. I was like, I want to make pop music. These guys are making pop music. I want to do pop music. So that's what
I think that's what it is. We got the pop bug.
The pop bug.
Yeah, we can't avoid it.
I remember the story of Evan asking, like talking about you guys were looking for a female singer, and he was like, well, what about Amy Milan? And Torque was like, well, I don't know. Like, is she a good musician? Because we'd hung out and I'd been like, shrang, 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 shrang. And then Jimmy walked by and was like, is Amy Milan a good musician? She's a great musician. And like, I was like, Jimmy, big up to me. That was like so sweet. That's such a solid memory of that. And then you came along and out of the blue, and we were rehearsing in our first show. And then
Not out of the blue, through Matt Watkins.
Through Matt Watkins. But I'd never, Matt Watkins.
And if I can add to this, I answered the door to the jam space and I saw Patty McGee, who was ringing the bell of the jam space for 30 minutes?
Was that the Jazz Pharmacy?
It's a jazz pharmacy place.
Jazz Pharmacy.
Across from the Bell Center in Montreal. Opened the door, and I think the first thing he said was like, I've been ringing the bell for 30 minutes. And you had a snare drum in one hand and a hi-hat.
Wasn't it the piccolo?
It was the tiny little thing.
Because you know what you did?
Walked around like this.
But that was your shit. You were like, that's what you did.
I just had this.
You did the high
carrying a knapsack and under my arms.
You didn't need anything
My
else.
Radio.
Yeah, and then we did Heart as like an audition for Patty. And then we took a break. We're like, let's take a break. And
Did we
you guys
really?
went outside.
No, we didn't audition.
No, we did audition.
We auditioned.
There was an
It was an
audition. There was an audition. And then
Really,
they went outside.
Because I
and then
remember being like,
There was a
asking you to
judgment.
play.
there was a judgment.
There was a judgment.
And then
There's always
Sorry.
a judgment.
And then I started playing like a
No.
country song on the guitar. And then he started playing along country music, and I was like, sorry, Patrick, nice to meet you, but I really like country music. And he's like, all my best friends in Toronto play country music. And it was Jenny Whiteley, Dan Whiteley, Joey Wright. And I was like, you are my brother.
These are my best.
These are my best friends.
These
It
are
was
my
like,
best friends.
we were best friends
no, they're
before.
my best friends.
Yeah, no, they're my best friends. So we had these connections of best friend
But
family.
we never met.
But we never met.
Not even in Chorley Park.
We went to high school together. We went to
I know, Jarvis. I know.
and we never met.
It was meant to be. I know it's a cliche, but it's true.
Destiny.
It's true, eh?
That would have been a better name for the
Versace
band.
on the floor.
We should have called ourselves Destiny. Before Destiny.
No regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets. Hashtag no regrets.
More wine.
More wine.
Sweet barrel wine. Sweet barrel wine.
Campagnolo,
Everybody
should we get a
here.
standing ovation?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Campagnolo, thank you so much.
Come on, where are you?
Thank you guys.
Please.
Thanks so much, Matt.
Bravo, everybody.
Thank you guys.
Come on.
I pull up to the yard in hard light. It's where I find you, how I find you. We get into the car, feel it start under the
Turkey's got my baby.
streets,
Putting him to
flashing
sleep.
red lights. We don't have to go far, cross my heart. Got the windows
Hey, guys.
all the